Hello everybody, I'm doing the test stream today and I will stream shortly for about 2 hours I think. At first I will stream some drama videos and then I will go to test some new characters from the DLC. From the Ravenswatch. The new characters came out a few days ago, so I want to check them. Enjoy stuff.
Shannon, who is 56 years
Yeah,
old.
This particular video is about the podcaster. What was warned this would happen, so that is the title. Yeah, this guy, I saw this guy before. Yeah, I saw his podcast and he's not that likable as I heard. We'll see what he's done.
1 year before Shannon Sharpe was sued for violent sexual assault, he was warned by one of his podcast guests to stop pursuing girls that were 30 years younger than him.
30 years?
Hang out with these young
That's
you
wild.
You can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Even Lil Yachty was apprehensive of Shannon's mentality towards younger women.
Y'all get to a certain age and you still like them young.
Yeah,
like,
that's really wild.
You like the same age girls I like.
Okay, yeah,
30,
yeah, right.
When you get to a certain
30
age,
years age
old, but my
difference.
eyesight's still young.
Shannon, who is 56 years old, never shied away from letting everyone know that
He's
he was
actually
interested
looking good
in
for
women who were younger
56,
than his
but that will be not good for, you know, the relationships with the 26 years old girls.
daughters.
Basically daughters, yeah.
Date your age, date your age. Well, I want to date my wage.
To no surprise, Shannon's reckless behavior got him in some major legal trouble, as he is now being sued for $50 million by a 19-year-old who claims that he R-worded her, and the evidence against him does not look good. However, there are some suspicious details surrounding this case that have people wondering if it could be a setup. The lawyer that is representing the victim was the same one who took down Diddy, attempted to take down Jay-Z for crimes, as well as the fact that Shannon Sharpe was just about to sign a deal that would secure him generational wealth. And somehow, these aren't even the craziest conspiracies, which has resulted in Shannon receiving a ton of support from fans, letting them know that they are on his side. Today we are going to clearly break down the entire story, the evidence Shannon provided to defend himself, as well as the possible conspiracies surrounding the case of Shannon Sharpe versus
possibly that was a long time ago, and the evidence are not as clear, so it's another cancellation drama or something.
OF model Gabriela Zuniga. Celebrities have been using their fame to cover up bad behavior for decades, but at the same time, being famous also makes you a target. When you've got money and a platform, there's always going to be someone looking to take advantage of that. And while every situation should be looked into carefully, once the allegations start stacking up, it gets hard to tell if this is an obvious pattern of bad behavior or people looking for a payday. In light of the new allegations, countless media outlets research.
Yeah, it's better to dig into this to figure out actually what is going on.
A 2010 restraining order that Shannon Sharpe's ex-girlfriend filed when she accused him of R-wording her, then threatening her if she ever told anyone. Michelle Bundy Evans met Shannon Sharpe while working as a TV sports reporter in 2002. We met in the press room at the Broncos in April of 2002, but we didn't start dating until we met at the Club Blue 67 in Denver. He started pursuing me heavily. I resisted for a while because I was a reporter and I didn't want to mix the two, but he's very charming. At that point, Shannon was near the end of his football career. He spent 14 seasons in the league, mostly with the Denver Broncos, where he helped deliver back-to-back Super Bowl wins in the late 90s. Then he got a third championship with...
He was the football player back then. Yeah, absolutely gigantic guy.
The Baltimore Ravens in 2000. But Shannon's legacy did not stop on the field. He had something else that made him great, natural charisma, which made it easy for him to eventually transition into sports broadcasting. Michelle said that her and Shannon had a relatively open relationship and were constantly crossing...
Open relationships. It's better just not to call them relationships. It's the casual hookup. What is the point of saying it is relationships when the relationships are actually means that you are exclusive? So that is not really the relationships. It's making the relationships word useless that way.
Paths in the workplace since they worked in the same industry. She says they dated for a decade until 2010 when it all came crashing down. Problems arose when Shannon told Michelle to separate from a man who later became her husband.
The argument was about the fact that he had removed one girl from his house and put another girl in his house and didn't tell me. He had asked me to break up with my husband at the time. We were just dating, so I was dating Shannon and my husband at the same time. I was like, wait a minute, you want me to be with just you, but you want to move somebody into your house and not even tell me? So that's what it stemmed from. He's not a faithful person, so I wasn't going to be faithful to a non-faithful person. It just doesn't work that way. Not for me anyway. It was the biggest argument that we ever got in. He was controlling, he was domineering, he was manhandling me.
He's not fair, but no. That's a bad treatment.
I told him no, because you gave me somebody else. I didn't only tell him no, I told him why. He wouldn't take no for an answer.
The reporter then asked Michelle a question that many victims get when they choose not to go to the police immediately.
Why didn't you file a police report when he raped you?
Because I was scared for my life. He said he would use it. Everybody he knows, and he knows lots of police officers. So I didn't know that if I went down there, that would be one of the people that he knows.
Michelle claimed that Shannon continuously threatened her. He said he was going to destroy me, and he was going to kill me, and he told me he was watching me. In fear, Michelle filed a temporary restraining order against him, which forced him to step away from his role on CBS's NFL Today.
CBS sports analyst and former NFL tight end Shannon Sharpe took a, quote, leave of absence after accusations surfaced that he had allegedly and threatened to kill a woman. According to legal documents obtained by Sports by Brooks, Sharpe's accuser claimed that the renowned tight end, quote, forced her to have sex with him, threatens her life, and, quote, places her under surveillance and calls to say he is watching her.
After Sharpe took a leave of absence, Michelle claims that a strange man showed up to her door and intimidated her, so she dropped the restraining order. Shannon returned to CBS after the restraining order was dismissed and was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame 1 year later. It's important to consider that the information you just learned about this lawsuit was relatively unknown in 2010. It's much more common for controversies, allegations, and lawsuits to get swept under the rug because there weren't as many people online demanding justice and holding alleged perpetrators accountable. Shannon weathered the storm, stayed quiet, and it just kind of went away for 13 years until Michelle...
For 13 years? Yeah, he dodged this drama really efficiently. 13 years of dodging. Man.
Filed another lawsuit against Shannon in 2023 alleging defamation, libel, slander, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Evans claimed that Shannon has repeatedly referenced their legal disputes on television and other public platforms, which she says has caused significant harm to her reputation. However, I could not find anything that proves that Shannon has talked about her on television. Michelle's lawsuit in 2023 got even less attention from the media than the 2010 restraining order. Therefore, this interview with The Sun is Michelle's third attempt to get justice for the R word that she claims occurred. And finally, after 15 years, Shannon's counsel has responded to Michelle. It should be of no surprise that when someone famous is in the news, all sorts of people crawl out of the woodwork to share their connection to that person in an attempt to profit from that alleged relationship. This is exactly what is happening to Shannon Sharpe, and the resurrection of the case involving Michelle Evans is a perfect example. Sadly, Miss Evans became obsessed with Shannon and decided to manufacture a claim against him. When she could not find a lawyer to pursue her outrageous story, she filed a civil complaint on her own that is completely devoid of merit. The fact is that Shannon has had no contact with this person for many years, and it is our understanding that she is still on probation after serving 3 years in prison for trying to kill her husband, so that she could hopefully pursue a relationship with Shannon. As far as I can tell, Michelle is no longer pursuing Shannon legally, but media outlets are getting her side of this story today to either 1, exploit the situation for profit, or 2, report on a potential victim whose story was swept under the rug for 15 years. There was also...
Yeah, that's the dual sword. If she is actually right, she's legitimately can bring up this story to light, and if it's all a lie, then she's just the money maker. So it's about how the court will actually reveal the truth of this case.
Another assault allegation brought up against Shannon that was allegedly kept quiet for many years. Ryan Glasspiegel of FrontOfficeSports.com put out a report that accused Shannon of choking a female production assistant in the workplace during his time at Fox Sports. Glasspiegel used 2 different sources in support of his accusations, saying that one source said Sharpe and Fox settled with the accuser for several $1,000s. No lawsuit was filed. However, a representative for Sharpe came forward and denied any prior altercation. There was no incident of choking involving Shannon on the FS1 set. On one occasion, he and a few colleagues were involved in some light physical interaction in a playful context. Fox Sports later chose to resolve the matter privately. Although they claimed it wasn't serious, it does seem there is some truth here, or else they would have outright denied nothing happened whatsoever. But this is common whenever a celebrity is under fire. Allegations arise from their past where all of a sudden anonymous as sources start remembering bad behavior. And whether they are true or not, there's no doubt that Michelle's story and others are receiving attention because of the most recent lawsuit between Shannon Sharpe and Jane Doe, whose real name was later revealed to be Gabriela Zuniga, an OnlyFans model that filed a $50 million civil lawsuit.
This surname is quite tricky. For the all races but black. Yeah, she's fine though. No wonder why he actually chose her, but still 30 years difference. Well, she's legal, so that's still controversial, but at least she's legal.
Against Sharpe, accusing him of sexual assault and battery. Now almost
But yeah, that is of course bad.
all of the information regarding this lawsuit was released to the public in the matter of like 48 hours, and all of it was extremely disorganized, out of context, and confusing, truthfully for the betterment of both parties. So I'm going to do my best to puzzle piece this together in chronological order because I believe dates are extremely important to consider here. According to her lawsuit, the two met in 2023 at a gym in Los Angeles. Gabriela claimed that Sharpe had been watching her during workouts and eventually approached her. At the time, she said she was just 19 and didn't even know who he was, just that he was another older man paying a little too much attention at the gym. She said that after repeatedly asking, he convinced her to give him her phone number. Over the next few weeks, Shannon Sharpe allegedly pursued Gabriela relentlessly. According to her, he kept approaching her at the gym and repeatedly calling and texting her, asking to meet up. But she says he didn't take no for an answer, and eventually she agreed to see him outside the gym. But before they met in person, Shannon reportedly insisted she sign a non-disclosure agreement. Gabby found that off-putting and refused, even after he kept pushing. He eventually dropped it and invited her to his house. However, Shannon and his legal team released text messages that seem to contradict Gabby's claims of how she felt towards him in 2023. In March of 2023, which is just 2 months after they met, Gabby sent him a message with an image of a woman wearing bondage ropes with the words, "Tie me up like this and F me," to which Shannon replies, "If I knew how to, I would." She said, "It's okay, I have handcuffs. We can stick to those for now." They went back and forth exchanging kinky messages when she referred back to the photo of the woman tied up and said, "I want to be in that position right now," to which he replied, "It's too late right now." This message was sent at 11 p.m. Shannon was likely tired and getting ready to go.
Then she's not an angel. Definitely.
To sleep, but it seems like the 19-year-old Gabby was in the mood. Ironically, this is exactly what Monique said would happen to Shannon.
When they
So
want you
is
to
she
go
a
for the
money
fourth
maker
round, you
here?
looking at her like, listen, I need you want some money to go to Starbucks because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that fourth round, she's gonna say, hold on, let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter.
And I know that's supposed to be funny, but that's actually prophetic. It's wild. Another text message from late 2023 was released where Gabby wrote, "I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're effing me." The two
Okay, no wonder she started OnlyFans. She's into such stuff.
also talked about
Yeah,
Gabby's desire
that's-
to have a baby with Shannon,
that's really
including
wild.
her allegedly writing, "Only if you put that baby gravy in me, then you can do whatever you want."
He even wrote the word fuck without the A. He pretended to be not the bad guy who is swearing, right? Okay, the situation is quite sensitive already.
To me, and I literally ate so much food I look like I'm pregnant with your big black baby. Sharpe responded, "If I still F with you around my birthday in 24, you can IUD out." Essentially saying if they are still together in 7 months from when this message was sent, then she could stop taking her birth control and they will have a child together. To which she replied, "LOL, you're stuck with me for life. You're not going anywhere, babe." Reminder that Gabby claims in her lawsuit that around this time their relationship was rocky and on and off. She says everything was always on his terms. When they saw each other, where, how often, and what their relationship looked like. At first, he could be sweet and affectionate, but over time, she says his behavior changed. He became more dishonest and emotionally volatile. However, Shannon's evidence shows that they were both constantly sharing freaky messages.
Then she says, I want to put my tongue in your asshole
So
and marry you.
that was
She was
mutual?
using her tongue like a bidet. She was a serial booty eater, a fecal matter muncher.
Gabby said she wanted some, quote, hardcore BDSM action. Shannon replied, matching her energy.
And Shannon says, that's chocolate daddies. That's chocolate
So
daddies.
it was mutual,
slash-
seems like.
I'm the
If the of course the messages are actually true, who knows?
only one f***ing that and getting his ass ate. We all knew, come on, we all knew Shannon was into.
Gabby continuously brought up the idea of having a child, writing texts that said, I can't wait to have a black baby. Shannon replied, I want a F. If I was 38, I would definitely impregnate you. As she continued to press the conversation about
Okay.
having a baby, Shannon said, Gabby,
they're
you and I
into this.
both know you don't want a baby. She replied, you're the one that has a breeding kink, and I mean, I only want a baby if it's from you. I think I'd be a good mom. She continued, I've always wanted a black baby. I want you to put a big black baby inside me. There are droves more text messages released where Gabby brought up the fact that she wanted a baby. Some people interpret this as nothing more than kinky talk. Some think it is a weird fetish or entrapment trying to be set for life off of Shannon's money, and others see this as a young
the trap for elements. That could be really tricky. She could be probably want to get divorced, and then if the court is more likely will be on her side, possibly on US. I don't know how it works in US, but in Russia, if the person divorces, usually the court is not people divorces. The child will be with the mother. So I don't know about US, but in Russia it's like that, and possibly in US, in some states at least, that is like that. So who knows?
girl who actually desperately wants to have a child with a man who simply wants sex. This is where Gabby claims in her lawsuit that a shift happened in their relationship. He lied about other women, but still insisted they were exclusive. She claims he manipulated her, flipping between charm and aggression to get what he wanted. Around summer of 2024, Gabby claims there was a violent, aggressive, and controlling nature Shannon had that she could not escape. She describes multiple instances where he had his way with her without her explicit consent, then controlling her life, demanding where she needed to be and when. He accused her of disrespecting him, wasting his time, and warned that if she wanted to be with the Shannon Sharp, she would have to learn obedience. Over the next year and a half, plaintiffs saw Sharp at his house as often as 4 times a week. Sharp continued to treat her like an object. He continued to control her, not just physically, but emotionally and psychologically. Gabby started sending her friends her location for her safety, and when Shannon noticed, he allegedly grabbed her by the neck and
I think if the girl actually sent that kind of messages to him, then she were quite playful in that case, so she could made all of this up. So who knows?
told her, if you ever do that again, I will effing kill you. However, text messages revealed from Shannon's team that correspond to this timeline have Gabby allegedly saying, I want to be abused, daddy, and also sent another BDSM photo and said, I want you to tie me up like this and abuse me, daddy. Shannon moved to Las Vegas. Gabby also decided to move to Las Vegas, which some people thought was strange if she claimed that she was afraid of him, but then moved to the exact same city. She says this is when the abuse got much worse, specifically around the time that Shannon accidentally went live on Instagram during a sexual encounter with a different woman. In September of 2024, Shannon Sharp accidentally broadcasted an intimate moment with a woman. Thousands of viewers tuned in to an unexpected Instagram live that featured audio of Shannon having intercourse with an unidentified woman. The screen indicates that the phone was just kind of resting on a table or on the bed, but the audio of Shannon breathing heavily and dirty talking was enough to tell what was going on. Also, what made this a little confusing was he mentioned the woman's name in this IG live. He said Michelle, but it was not the same Michelle that filed the
6,000
restraining order in
viewers. Oh my god, that's quite big.
2010.
He's a
The
big
moment
guy.
was extremely
Seems
viral.
like not only by the body size, but by the media influence as well. He's a big celebrity, what can I say?
With most people just making fun of Uncle Shannon. And at first, Sharp tried to claim his account had been hacked. However, he called ESPN to tell them the truth. My phone wasn't hacked, it wasn't a prank, it was me being a healthy, active male. He later came clean on the Nightcap podcast, admitting the whole thing was an honest mistake.
I'm extremely embarrassed that a very, very private, intimate situation, the audio couldn't be heard. And I'm extremely disappointed in myself. 5 minutes before I came on, phone rings. It's Cat Williams. So I said, yeah, bro, what's up? The first thing out of his mouth, guess what he said, Ocho?
Wow.
You ain't gay today?
However, based on text messages that Shannon revealed, Gabby was extremely upset with the situation. When I'm 152 pounds but you can't touch me because you cheated on me on Instagram Live. I'm gonna be 180 soon and you're still not gonna be able to touch me. I bet you regret your actions right about now. These text messages make it seem like Gabby thought they were exclusively in a relationship. Shannon did not give a formal reply in texts. Gabby then said, "When you give me a formal apology for cheating on me on Instagram Live and multiple other times, then we can talk." She writes, "Formal apology."
So he basically recorded he's cheating on the Instagram live? What?
In all caps. Shannon replies, "I've said sorry, Gabby." However, this is where things start to look really bad for Shannon. In her lawsuit on October 6, 2024, she says he confronted her at a gym in Nevada, visibly angry, and threatened her. "Sit the F down or I'm going to you," he reportedly said. When she tried to walk away, he told her she didn't have a choice. She told him clearly that she didn't want to speak, didn't want to be alone with him, and didn't want him coming to her home. Despite that, she says he forced her into his car and brought her back to her apartment. Once inside, he allegedly ignored her attempts to keep the conversation in the living room. He insisted on going to the bedroom. She said no, but he wouldn't listen. That's where she says he SA'd her, ignoring her tears and pleas. At one point, he reportedly said, "You've disrespected me so much, I'm going to punish this a-hole. I'm going to make it so no man will want you again." She says he R-worded her while she sobbed, and during the assault, he told her the experience gave him chills. Now, the next text messages Shannon released weren't until December 26th, almost 3 months after this alleged assault. We don't know how much or if any communication was had in between then. Gabby says, "I'm not answering your calls until you say sorry, Shannon." She says, "All you say is I'm sorry, but you never say what you are sorry for. How you gonna make it right?" She continues, "So I would appreciate if you could do that, cause you really hurt me." She continuously makes it clear that she wants an apology, to which Shannon replies, "Gabby, I'm not going through this again. Stop playing childish games." Now, we don't know if Gabby was demanding an apology for this assault that she said happened or something else, because this was 3 months later.
It still could be the apology to the cheating, possibly, if because it actually sounds shady if he would tell just I'm apologizing for raping her and oh, maybe I shouldn't say this word actually, but anyway, for the R-wording her and abusing her, so the apologize is asking for the apologize for the criminal action. It's kind of weird, and she could cut the ties with him and file a lawsuit immediately. Something shady is going on, I think.
Then things get even more strange when New Year's of 2025 comes around. Shannon texted her and said, "Happy New Year, Gabby. Can't wait to see what 2025 has in store for us. Gabby replies, give me $50,000 and I will let you come over to the house, and then sends him her PayPal link. He said, I don't have Cash Apps. She said, then what do you have? And he says, I have 10K cash. Gabby replies, send me a picture or FaceTime me with it. It seems like Shannon did not oblige to her orders, so she texted again. What's taking so long? You either have the cash to show me right now or you're with Michelle. Which one is it, Shannon? She sends another message with a picture of her naked. I know you miss this big juicy $25K for each cheek. We do not know if Shannon paid the money, but they did see each other within 24 hours of this message. In her lawsuit, on January 2nd, 2025, Shannon told her he wanted to see
Not
her
looking as good for
and remind her about a
for
promised
her.
Christmas and birthday gift. Eventually, she agreed to let him visit her apartment, but once he arrived, things quickly turned. He began undressing and she asked him to wear a condom, hoping it might stop what was happening. According to her, Shannon refused. The more she begged him to stop or use protection, the more aggressive he became. She says he forced himself on her again, ignoring her pleas the entire time. The last text messages that were released are from that January 2nd, 2025 night, which was the night of the alleged assault. Gabby said, I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and not to put it in my A, and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon. I don't know how to process this. In response to the lawsuit, Shannon Sharpe publicly denied all allegations through a statement released by his attorney. Mr. Sharpe categorically denies all allegations of coercion or misconduct, the statement read. His lawyer, Lanny J. Davis, went further, calling the lawsuit full of lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and claimed it would not hold up in court. Shannon's lawyer wrote, these messages are just a sampling of a broader pattern of graphic communications initiated by the plaintiff. Davis said, the evidence paints a clear picture. This was a consensual, adult relationship that included role-playing, language, and fantasy scenarios explicitly requested by the plaintiff. Shannon also made another public announcement denying all accusations, but instead of typing it himself, it seems like he screenshotted a text message that was sent to him, indicating that it was someone else who wrote the response.
Maybe his lawyers are made the work.
It seemed like no matter how Shannon responded, it didn't exactly make him look better. And although the text messages that he released do provide a little more context, they don't exactly make him look better either. It does seem that they had a consensual relationship before the initial October 6, 2024 assault, but the lawsuit mostly focuses on the fact that their dynamic changed after the IG Live leak in September of 2024, which Gabby deemed as Shannon cheating on her. Honestly, Shannon's text messages that he released kinda help her narrative, because what we have, according to the text messages that he released, are seemingly a consensual back and forth for about a year and a half up until the IG Live leak, which is where everything changed. That's also pretty much what Gabby said in the lawsuit. And that October 6, 2024 date where she says there was a violent assault is really where everything changed. And again, the texts also kind of prove that. After all, just because a relationship was previously consensual doesn't mean it always is. Now, we don't know if Shannon cherry-picked text messages that make her look worse than him, or if they would actually go months without texting, because we went through almost all of the messages over the course of 2 years, which realistically were not that many texts. But we can only base our opinions on what was revealed. But knowing the dates of those text messages does kinda help, because if she claimed she feared for her life, then sent an erotic message after, that doesn't really make sense. For example, audio was released of her and Shannon's phone conversation, and without context or dates, it sounds horrible.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me, so I feel like...
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
You want to be a to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you.
Well, I don't.
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
I think the truth is like in between. They both kind of they both in the same time in some ways are guilty, but each party are hiding the important information which can, which can actually be damaging for their reputation and public image and so on. So yeah, I think they're both kind of guilty, and it depends from the judge how it will actually resolve this case.
You're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you do what you did to me.
Dates are important here because if this was before summer of 2024, then some people believe this is just more dirty talk and role-playing now being taken out of context, especially the way he says big black guy chokes small white woman. It just seems like an ironic or non-intimidating way to describe that situation. Then again, some look at this as her clearly expressing multiple times that she does not want this, which should have
Not necessarily, because he could joke in the mid-time of the actual threatening, so it doesn't make it fully a joke. So it's hard to actually distinguish, but the whole tone of the conversation since the tells that it was a threat, in my opinion.
Have been a signal for him to stop. But where
Yeah,
everything
exactly,
does get
exactly.
weird is her demanding money around New Year's of 2025. By this point, she claims to have been assaulted seemingly countless times and is demanding to be paid for intercourse. This is what makes people think that this is a shakedown, and of course has been a basis of Shannon's legal defense. Then again, Shannon's defense made a horrible decision in revealing that they almost settled out of court before anyone knew about this situation. Sharp's lawyer revealed that he had offered Gabby at least $10 million to settle things privately before the case.
10 mil? Oh gosh, that's so low. So he offered 10 mil, and I don't know, I don't know exact word of it, but she cannot tell about this case and can't file the lawsuit because of the agreement. Yeah. 10 mil is
became public. According to his attorney,
really attractive
Gabriella
money.
initially seemed open to the deal, but then, without warning, walked away from our offer. Davis said it was a big surprise to us when
maybe
suddenly this case
she
was
wanted
filed
more.
without any
I don't know how she could actually get more, but maybe in US it's possible. Who
advanced
knows?
warning. Many people questioned why Shannon would even offer a settlement that large if he was innocent. Now,
Yeah. I think both parties are somewhat guilty.
legally, settling a lawsuit does not mean a person is admitting guilt. In fact, most settlements include language that explicitly states the parties are not admitting to any wrongdoing. For many, settling is a way to avoid the stress, time, and massive costs of going to trial. In high-profile cases like this one, it can also be a strategy to avoid media attention and protect reputations. For celebrities,
in this case, yeah. In this case, that could be a reason, but I don't know.
sometimes settling just feels like the faster, cleaner option if they believe they did nothing wrong. But in the court of public opinion, people strongly felt that Shannon essentially admitted guilt when he offered her $10 million. Then again, others questioned why Gabby did not take the $10 million. This is the girl that demanded $25K per cheek. Surely $10 million would have been plenty of money, right? And that's when conspiracies arose that potentially this is a much bigger attack on Shannon. Shannon was on the verge of signing a new podcast contract worth over $100 million.
What? That's crazy money.
That kind of money
That's
would have made
absolutely
him one of
crazy
the
money,
highest paid personalities in sports media. It felt like the next big step in his career. Additionally, Gabby's legal representation is led by Tony Busby, who filed a lawsuit on behalf of a woman accusing Diddy of assault, trafficking, and abuse. Additionally, in late 2024, Tony Busby filed a civil lawsuit on behalf of a woman identified as Jane Doe, accusing Jay-Z and Diddy of R-wording her at a 2000 MTV Video Music Awards after party when she was 13 years old. Jay-Z vehemently denied the allegations, labeling them a blackmail attempt. In February of 2025, the lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice, meaning it cannot be refiled. Subsequently, Jay-Z filed a defamation lawsuit against Jane Doe and Busby, alleging that the accusations were knowingly false and malicious, aimed at extorting him and causing significant harm to his reputation and business interests.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Many fans believe that
Yeah. 50 mil is more than 10 mil, of course, obviously. But it's a risk to fail a lawsuit and eventually pay for the court costs, which will be really big amount of money. So she could take the 10 mil without risk, what she was doing.
a man who was not guilty would demand for an entire tape of his to be released, especially if it made him look bad. Busby told TMZ Sports that he and his client have zero plans right now to put the footage out to the media. The only reason you know about the existence of a video recording is that Mr. Sharp specifically referenced it in his bullshit statement. Shannon has remained adamant that his relationship with Gabriella was purely a BDSM one, where the two would meet up for rough about once a week and nothing more. Shortly after the case went public, Sharp announced his decision to temporarily leave ESPN. However, he still remains active working on his personal podcast that he owns. Now people are going back and analyzing Shannon's behavior on his shows, claiming that him being so open about his sexual proclivities, fetishes, and love for younger women on talk shows is an indication of guilt behind the scenes.
I broke with my girlfriend. This was years ago. This was probably about 25 years ago.
Every time you tell a story, it's years ago. I'm thinking this might be recent.
No, that ain't recent. This ain't recent. No, that's 25 years ago. And my sister told my grandma, say, Granny, you know Shannon and such not going together. They're not together no more. But you know what it is? You know what my grandma said?
What'd she say?
She wasn't doing her nightly duties.
Ooh, wait a minute.
That what my granny say. That what my granny say.
Wait, let me sit up because I want. Wait, let me get my note. Let me get my notepad out. What are nightly duties so I can make sure
you know what nightly duties are. Everybody that watching this know what nightly duties are.
This one particular clip of Shannon losing control while discussing an OF model, seemingly out of nowhere, has been resurfaced.
You know who Sky Bree is, Ocho?
Sky Bree? Who that is, Coach?
Yeah. How I do it.
Hey, Sky. I mean, who is that? Who is that? Help me out.
You know what I'm saying? She little something. She might be famous for vertical activity that she's good at.
Shannon also once shut down his co-host's recommendation for a woman that's religious, has strong values, and could bring balance to his life, but instead he said, "I'm looking for a sinner."
I'm looking for a sinner. I'm looking for a sinner. Send me Miss Nasty B. What her name was? The one that you
Miss Nasty B?
Umbrella?
Miss Nasty.
Yeah. I'm looking for. I don't want nobody walking
no
straight and narrow.
Oh, come on.
Nah,
So
I want to see him.
Listen,
No matter whose side you are on, I think we can all agree that at the end of the day, Shannon had no business as a 57-year-old messing around with a 19 or 20-year-old. It is his actions that got him in this situation. Now, is he actually guilty of a crime? Well, now that you have the full context, you can make an informed decision on what you think happened. Otherwise, we'll just have to wait for the jury's verdict.
So yeah, I basically think that both parties are quite guilty in some way, and I think his offer at 10 mil is actually an indication of hide all of the things what she probably allegedly done. And by the recordings, she isn't an angel as well. So I think overall the lawsuit will be like partially on each other's side. I cannot make the clear argument here because it's quite shady, but still I think she will not get all of the money. At least she wants, like, if she wants like 50 mil, she will get like 25 or something, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure about this one. So yeah, watching another one, and playing Ravenswatch.
From Sam Pepper.
This video is about when YouTubers sell their soul. And the thumbnail was like different YouTubers shown and some bad stuff above. So we'll see what the YouTubers done actually to cult like that, to sell their soul.
From Sam Pepper faking pranks for
Ironically.
clout to Paige Neiman impersonating Ariana Grande for internet fame. Here are 9 YouTubers who sold their souls for views. Starting with TikToker Bevo, whose clout-chasing journey began when the internet noticed something on him that was impossible to unsee. With his audience making fun of his massive ultra-white teeth, Bevo
Yeah, I've heard about this stuff. His audience giggled about the extra shiny Turkish kind of veneers. Yeah, it looks like a really cheap kind of surgery, tooth surgery, or how it called, the veneers installation. Yeah, that looks messed up, but still, that does it represents that he sold his soul to what, to Luke Goofy. That's his decision, so whatever.
He embraced the attention, even answering questions from them.
Listen, they're my real teeth. I might have a filter on, but these are my teeth.
But while that resulted in more views, 7 months later, his fame-generating asset would suddenly lose its shine, leading Bevo to put up a GoFundMe where he eventually raised nearly £700, just enough for him to get temporary teeth. But just as Bevo was set to get back on track, 2 months later, he found himself dealing with a personal challenge.
Recently become homeless, so I blew up back in January. Life was great, quit my job, 35 million views, living life, slowly fell off. which everyone does. I've realised that now.
Worse, he would also deal with a whole new injury 2 months later, leading concerned fans to donate to his new GoFundMe, only for them to regret it.
The shoulder GoFundMe was fake. It was just to trigger people, and it did. It really triggered people. But I just do stuff for views.
True enough, despite the backlash, Bevo would take doing stuff for views to...
Yeah, doing stuff for views and fundraising himself. Yeah, not looking as good if he's doing the fundraiser things for the basic stuffs he could afford from his revenue. I think fundraisings are mostly about the people who are in need, actually, and the people who are really want to help the people who are in some kind of troublesome situation. So his situation looks kind of the personal deal than the actual real struggle. So
to a life-threatening level. And with this video earning almost 30 million views, Bevo rode the momentum and kept on posting more eating videos, which eventually led to him being a meme. But just when he was truly blowing up, he would unapologetically expose himself during a stream.
The majority of everything you see on TikTok is fake.
You could give me an example of fake.
Well, I went homeless for one day. I went to stay with Aggie and then I moved back in with my dad. So my mum did kick me out.
Oh, so that wasn't real?
No, I was homeless. Well, I wasn't homeless. I never was homeless.
I thought you was really homeless.
No.
Oh my!
Leaving the internet's trust in him hanging by a thread. But instead of doing better things to turn his career around, Bevo would cut that thread by admitting he was in an open relationship with his OF girlfriend.
Open relationship? OF girlfriend? Girlfriend? Yeah, I see what exactly he's doing, and is he right now? Is his OF girlfriend, you know? Are there among these girls?
Cuck, I'm a cuck, yeah.
And even launching a shady project.
Would like to announce Bevo Coin.
At this point...
Coin, okay, yeah, I see. Where he came, actually, yeah, meme coin means... scamming audience, basically. Usually, I mean, like 99.9% if the YouTuber or streamer or whatever influencer is making the meme coin, you have to avoid the scam. That move actually shows that they are about to scam you most of the time.
People were just waiting for Bevo to quit the internet, just like Sam Pepper temporarily did after facing massive backlash for pulling controversial pranks for views.
Hello guys, I'm Sam Pepper. Today I'm going to be pinching girls' bums with my secret
Sexual assaulting in public. This guy deserves the punch in the face really hard.
What the hell?
In the Minecraft, of course.
So like a bit further down there, and then...
Are you touching my butt?
But the internet wasn't laughing. It's not a prank. It's just sexual harassment passed off as entertainment. Despite making headlines for the backlash, Sam stooped to a new low a year later with YouTube's most infamous prank that involved Viners and best friends Sam and Colby.
Kobe is in on the prank, and Sam is getting pranked. Let's see how he reacts to his best friend of 5 years being killed in front of him.
He's everything I have.
These are two edgy pranks. From that prank, the person could be traumatized for life, so that's not the best idea to actually prank like that. It's really dangerous. I like DM pranks, though. I don't think that many people are still knowing that kind of pranks, but among the among the scary pranks, among the edgy pranks and so on, the DM pranks actually were really quality before and made the really atmospheric content. I like them way before. It was like in the 2010s, like 2015s, 15. They were on the hype. Yeah.
But once again, people didn't find it funny. And not only did Sam make headlines, but more than 200,000 people also signed a petition to remove him from YouTube entirely, to which the prankster responded with an unexpected proposition.
So I'm going to give everyone the option.
Is it even can be done? Can the Google actually and YouTube stuff can see it and say, oh, we are removing this guy?
To delete my channel if they want. I started up a GoFundMe with a few goals, a few perks that they could achieve.
But this only infuriated the internet, and as the campaign failed, Sam would delete all his social media content in early 2016 and release a statement. First, clarifying that the fake hand ass pinch prank was staged.
Of course, I know in real life that I can't do that. That's why I faked it, and I asked everyone before
even
I
if
did
it is staged, that's still violent and wild. It shouldn't be done, of course.
Hey, I'm doing this video.
I'm gonna come up to you, I'm gonna ask you for directions, I'm gonna pinch your butt.
Which was also the case for the other one.
The best friend prank, and you know exactly what I'm gonna say now. Of course, it was fake.
Capping it off, he would apologize and promise to make things right.
I'm really asking you guys, like, please give me a second chance, and I'll prove to you that I can make content that represents me as a person.
Trying to clean up his image, Sam shifted to doing 24-hour challenges, content that surprisingly earned him some positive attention. But just when people thought he'd finally outgrown faking stuff for views, he posted a shady TikTok in 2022.
I recently won the lottery, as some of you know. I have a budget of a
giveaway, fake giveaway to track attention and scam the people on the actual thing, I assume.
Around 10 million to spend on these islands, and they vary in different prices.
Okay.
Making people realize that he would never change. The man's adult life is about doing anything for clout. It's sad how desperate people can get for internet attention. Among these desperate people was TikToker Paige Neiman, whose strategy for gaining online attention revolves around impersonating...
Wait. How did he get rich and went to the islands?
TikTok in 2022.
I recently won the lottery, as some
won the lottery?
You know. I have a budget of around 10 million to spend on these...
I said won the lottery, that is the setup to give away, but I was wrong.
Islands, and they vary in different prices.
Making people realize that he would never change. The man's adult life is about doing anything for
so he obviously faking it, right? Won the lottery and earned the 10 mil. It's not that highly possible. It sounds like he made this up.
Clout. It's sad how desperate people can get for internet attention. Among these desperate people was TikToker Paige Neiman, whose strategy for gaining online attention revolves around impersonating Ariana Grande to a disturbing degree.
5. Oh, good. 4. Don't count. 3. Oh, I love 3.
With her resemblance to Ariana being so uncanny, people immediately got hooked. Except for Ariana herself, who found her doppelganger's impressions weird. I just wonder why the cat voice/dialogue. I'm sure she's the sweetest sweet sweetheart for real, but it's definitely bizarre seeing people blend the two worlds. Nevertheless, this attention only fueled Paige to make more Ariana impressions, leading her to gain 5 million followers by 2020. She would also take her...
So she made her whole personality on the internet as the Ariana Grande Queen. Not the most sustainable strategy, but she get 5 million followers, so it worked in some way.
Impressions up a notch, complete with mannerisms and without the TikTok audio, which she flexed in an interview with Entertainment Tonight. But this time, most fans didn't find it cute anymore. Even Liz Gillies, Ariana's former co-star, was vocal about how disturbing the impersonation was.
I'm super creeped out by it, though. She looks too much like her. I'd actually maybe not do it.
Alongside that, Ariana would eventually post an Instagram story noting how degraded she felt with the impersonations, with fans certain she was referring to Paige, leading the viral Ariana lookalike to react.
I'm used to Ariana shading me, so I'm just here to entertain people. Like, it's not how I really am in real life.
Instead of backing off, however, Paige only continued to impersonate the singer, even starring in a music video. Worse, she started an OF account in 2022, claiming
Yeah, that's gonna be really bad image for the Ariana Grande if the twin, which pretends to be the Ariana Grande, is making the OF and still in this in this fake persona. So yeah, she can file the lawsuit here about the damaging their reputation and can earn the tons of money and win it, I think.
She's not cosplaying Ariana on the platform, but the internet didn't let her get away with her lies. And while this eventually resulted in Paige being banned from TikTok, the fans' celebration didn't last long, because in just 2 weeks, the impersonator got back to business, allegedly going as far as to go under the knife to make the resemblance more uncanny. Now, Ariana's fans are still awaiting Paige's ultimate downfall, much like what happened to Braille Skateboarding, a once popular skateboarding channel that began to decline after its founder, Aaron Cairo, sold his soul to a controversial religion.
My name is Aaron. I'm a skateboarder, and
Is he stepped to the sect? What is this religion? I'm curious.
I'm also a Scientologist.
Oh, okay, I got it. I got it. Scientology, yeah, that religion is pretty controversial. Just the money sucking religion.
And for a YouTuber who was just starting to get known for his skate tutorials at that time, Aaron
Allegedly.
claimed the benefits from his ties to the religion.
Skateboarding is definitely difficult. It takes a lot of years and a lot of practice. And the thing that happened before Scientology and after was I was learning tricks
And
a
they
lot
have
easier.
they're pretty good lawyers, though. I've heard how they actually defended the Scientology church, so I'm apologizing in advance.
Supposed acceleration in skill only led to better content, especially with his Skate Anything series in 2016, where Aaron and his crew experimented with skating on random objects. The viewership only grew from there, with the channel hitting its 3 million subscriber milestone and building Braille House, the channel's official skate park and warehouse, a year later. Even better, Aaron cared about the community and used his platform for a cause, aiming to raise $200,000 in 2020 to save Red Lodge Skate Park. While he had good intentions, an article revealed that Aaron donated
Silver Meritors with honors. Is that award for the people who are donating the charity or who are fundraised some amount of money to help the community or something?
and $50,000 to Scientology a year prior, which didn't sit well with fans. Aaron would also start appearing less on his channel, with his crew temporarily stepping in, something he'd explain 2 years later.
Maybe that was a very selfish, wrong thing to do, but I did take some time for myself, and I did learn as much as I could about business, so that
that's an interesting skateboard, actually, made of the chain.
And I did
this one. But it looks not that comfortable to ride on.
Learn as much as I could about business, so that then I can come back.
It did a fire spilling nitro skateboard.
I can do what I felt. Braille.
Yeah. It's quite dangerous skateboard. It can explode. It can burn the desk, the board, the skateboarder. So yeah, the skater.
Needed to do.
But this
That's
learning
fire.
about business
That's
only
fire.
raised everyone's eyebrows when a video about his elevation in his church surfaced. From there, Braille skateboarding went quickly downhill, leading Aaron to shut down the Braille House on July 1st, 2024. Worse, his crew would also leave the channel, later revealing Aaron's behind-the-scenes exploitation.
We're getting paid a minimum wage for a channel that's making X amount a month, which...
Oh. Yeah, I feel them pretty much. I've been in a kind of same situation, I would say.
It doesn't translate at all.
And this gave fans more reasons to despise the Scientology.
Yeah, that's really accumulates the big anger if you are treated unfairly by your payment and by your by your boss, even though if you are making the bank for the boss, so it hurts.
Just imagine working for someone, carrying a channel for $20 an hour. Then you hear that your boss donated $1 million to Scientology.
1 million,
As of
1 million
2025,
to Scientology. Yeah, exactly. $20 an hour. That's a minimum wage. Damn. In Russia, that will be the really high amount of money.
Aaron is still trying to keep his channel alive, but barely reaches 10,000 views. Unlike then
US,
family YouTuber Jordan Cheyenne, who ended up abandoning her channel after she was caught manipulating her son.
Yeah, that's a recent drama. Manipulating her son to do stuff on camera. That's an abuse. That's a verbal abuse, and that should be stopped, of course. No wonder she got backlash.
For views.
Put your head down here. Act like you're crying. Really quick. I am crying. Go like this. No, Mom.
I think these channels shouldn't be exist at all. But of course, if they have the viewers, and they always will have the viewers, let's be real. Then that will be happening. If the YouTube actually will be stricter in the terms of these kind of channels.
But actually, seriously, no, I know, but go like this for the video.
In this accidentally
God.
released outtake titled
That's
We
really
Are
bad.
Heartbroken,
That's really
Jordan,
bad.
who had 500,000 subscribers, would be seen coaching her son to fake cry for a thumbnail after their dog was diagnosed with parvovirus, often fatal without treatment. As the video went viral and made headlines, fans were unsurprisingly furious, forcing Jordan to release an apology video.
I'm so sorry. That was so disgusting of me. I should not have done that at all. We were both already so sad.
Yeah, she got the backlash and she apologized immediately. Well, to save the reputation, that's a good thing, but it could be too late.
Upset.
Still, people couldn't help but feel bad for her son. With the overflowing hate, Jordan would delete her Instagram and YouTube channel, promising she wouldn't include her son again. But 5 months later, she would return to the platform.
I made a terrible, terrible decision.
So much
which I
makeup. She tried to appear as a new person to confuse the viewers. She could have changed her whole persona in the internet and appear like that. I think not many would actually realize that she's the same person as this girl. That's too much makeup.
Later, she would return to the platform.
I made a terrible, terrible decision, which I am so deeply upset with myself for that I can't even articulate. I've had such a deep sadness within me that everything that happened, and I've had such a deep
Okay,
regret
of
and
course, sadness
that
because she had to shut down all the platforms, but I don't think she actually feel bad for the child abuse, because she intentionally did it. Actually, intentionally. And she possibly, allegedly, did it before multiple times, I assume.
I'm the one that caused that. I chose to put my content and making a video ahead of the emotional needs of Christian in that moment.
Because it still wasn't well received, she deleted that video too and would focus on Instagram and TikTok, shifting her content into something about manifesting.
She's appearing like a new person every video. What the hell? That's one person, that's another person. And that is the third person she's appearing like this? What the hell is going on? She she could really make the whole new persona and hide all of this by the new persona. What is she doing? She's doing it all wrong.
Jordan again, especially after how she exploited her son. Though not quite as bad as 36-year-old Ash Trevino, who turned her problematic life into content, often at the expense of her two daughters' comfort.
Oh, yeah, of course, if it is in expense of the children, I really feel sad for the children which are participating unwillingly in all of these stuff. I really feel sad for them, and I really want these should be stopped. I really want these to be stopped, of course.
I think that maybe sometimes she can exploit situations to get views.
I'm gonna be real, yeah.
This tendency would first be evident in 2023 after Ash went viral for her open TikTok discussions about dating incarcerated men.
Inmates have you talked to in your whole lifetime?
Probably 26 in the last 5 years.
And while her inmate dating era ended a year later, her romantic decisions only...
What a couple. What a couple. They look quite provocative, I would say.
Got more controversial with fame, because in December 2024, she would be in a romantic relationship with a 19-year-old TikToker named Santos, whom her daughter had a crush on. Worse, she would even share intimate details during her TikTok live.
I've already seen his BB.
She's probably really rich. The guy looks too good to be with her, I think.
A crush on. Worse, she would even share intimate details during her TikTok live.
I've already seen his BB, and he's already seen my Nunu.
Why is she admitting this? That's gross.
Okay.
Much to one of her
That's
daughter's
gross.
disappointment.
You need to know they're saying stuff that people don't need to know.
This revelation...
Maybe for the cloud, of course, everything is making it for the cloud. And I'm actually here for the cloud, of course, too. I mean... everybody are publishing their content for the cloud, but the thing is, what intentions are behind the chasing the cloud and chasing the internet fame. So it's about the motivations and the actual decisions.
Led to major backlash, sparking the now infamous mass unfollowing campaign at the end of the same year. But Ash didn't just catch heat for who she dated. How she treated her daughters was just as disturbing.
You just threw up. Why? You're lying. Mom, I threw up. Why are you dancing?
On top of that, Ash admitted to doing horrific things to her eldest daughter, Haley, out of jealousy.
Haley literally has been through, like, the bottom of her life. Like, I'm telling you, whenever we lived with her dad, I used to pull her by the hair because I was so mad at her. I feel like
I'm not understanding the people who are basically admitting for their crimes. Just shut the hell up, or just to be safe. That's rational, but they are admitting and doing everything to be publicly ashamed. Not the smartest decision, but still, maybe that's a karma of the people who are who can actually make such statements to the public, and who did some really bad actions.
he loved her more than he loved me.
To which her daughter responded on Camila Araujo's podcast in 2025.
There's like nothing to be jealous of. I mean, I am her daughter, and they say I look like her, so there's nothing much different from us.
Additionally, she would also reveal how her mother used her sister Evie to get views.
Do you think that maybe sometimes she can exploit situations to get views?
I'm gonna be real, yeah. But not me and my sister. You've taken her when she was sick and you're begging for money. You said send the Galaxy to know about my baby girl's health when I was in the hospital.
Solidifying Ash Trevino's status as TikTok's worst mom, but not quite reaching TikToker's Lovely Peaches territory, who in 2018 stunned the
I'm
internet.
actually surprised that there are no kick streamers, or maybe I missed someone. There are no kick streamers yet. They're all like TikTok and YouTube celebrities. That's weird. Nowadays the kick streamers are kicking all of this drama and controversies.
By saying something no mother should ever say about their baby.
Not only am I Cora's mom, I'm Cora's pimp. I'm going to be selling her for $60 to each man. That's the prices. If you're a man interested in a cute baby girl, she's sexy, she's pretty, yada, yada, yada.
As expected, the internet was immediately alarmed, leading to the creation of a petition to
hell is
save
she
Cora.
saying?
Nevertheless, with the attention she was getting, Peaches, who originally rose to fame because of her vile jokes, only doubled down months later by doing an unspeakable act.
I got so freaking angry with her, and I grabbed her by the throat and I choked that hoe for about a minute straight. Eventually, I started to see her.
Yeah, this girl should be taken off from her. I mean, for the good for this girl, I think. What the hell is she doing? That's too wild. That's totally a crime.
Lose motion in her eyes, so I did stop, and it wasn't intentional, so it's not my fault. She just
Not
wasn't
her
breathing.
fault to crash on her 2 years old baby. What is wrong with her?
And I figured I would go to sleep, and this was just all a bad dream.
As many people worried, it would be discovered later on that the baby was actually alive and well. It turned out that when Cora was born, Peaches had run away from home, and the baby had been under her grandparents' care. And thanks in part to the petition,
So
authorities launched
I
an
think she didn't really want the baby in the first place, so she's doing some real wild shit. And admitting herself of doing with the wild shit, which is doesn't make sense for me. But she done what she done.
investigation into Peaches, ultimately resulting in her losing custody of her daughter in 2020. But just when the internet breathed a sigh of relief, Peaches struck
What the
again a year
fuck?
later.
What the fuck was this? She leaked. Oh gosh. At least I'm not eating right now.
Time dragging her dog Max into her antics.
Are you ready to be barbatized? Queen Nicki Minaj's perfume.
Worse, she would even claim that she took her dog's life, leading outraged viewers to call the authorities. But when they
I hope she lied, because that's too bad. Yeah, the further the video continues, the harsher the scenes are.
arrived, they were surprised not only to see the dog alive, but also to hear Peach's unhinged explanation.
Whose dog? Mine.
Why would you make that up?
For followers.
Rory?
For followers.
Oh, Patty.
As you can see, he's fine. Food right there.
What?
So you making threats to harm your dog for followers?
Okay.
Yes, I didn't do it like that.
Nevertheless, Peaches would then be arrested and charged with animal cruelty. But that didn't stop her as she returned to Instagram months later, where she's now promoting spicy content and her music as if nothing happened. Much like the Slayton sisters, Tammy and Amy,
So
who now
the
appear
dog
unbothered.
is dog and actually okay?
Months later, would then be arrested and charged with animal.
So you making threats to harm your dog for followers?
Okay.
Yes, I didn't do it like that.
Nevertheless, Peaches would.
So they actually found the dog, and she just lied to kill her dog. The people are going wild.
would then be arrested and charged with animal cruelty. But that didn't stop her, as she returned to Instagram months later, where she's now promoting spicy content and her music as if nothing happened. Much like the Slayton sisters, Tammy and Amy, who now appear unbothered and thriving on their weight loss journey, despite releasing a sob story in April 2015 that later raised a lot of eyebrows.
Tammy went into the hospital. She has pneumonia and she can't breathe. If y'all could donate a penny, nickel, dime, I'll be so happy.
In a now-deleted video, Amy claimed she needed help covering Tammy's potential funeral expenses, saying the coffin would need to be triple the normal size if her sister didn't make it. At the time, Tammy had reportedly passed out and was on life support for 3 weeks, adding urgency to the plea. The GoFundMe would raise over $800, which Amy promised to put to its intended use.
We won't be spending it on anything but the funeral. I just wanted to clarify that. Take it up to the funeral
the
home
excessive
where
obesity is not leading to anything good.
it can build interest. I probably will take it to the funeral home and let it build interest.
Who would guess?
If something does happen, we have that as a backup plan.
But that would change later on when Amy would post a video called Tammy is Home. While everyone was relieved that no funeral happened, this only made the fans curious as
she
to
lied. Okay, of course, she lied.
where the donations went. Well, shortly after,
And scammed the people on the donations. Good job.
Amy.
Good job. Sarcasm, if someone didn't understand. I know some people are not understanding sarcasm.
changed the GoFundMe to help her find a new place and raise
Especially
funds
on the
for a
internet.
MacBook Pro instead. But when she uploaded a video showing off her new van, fans' suspicions only grew louder. Hope you can all see where your money's going to. She is scamming everyone, forcing Amy to share the truth of what really happened to all the GoFundMe money.
I gave it to my mother, who paid bills with Tammy's bills. Regardless if that's what she used the money for or not, that's what I did with it. I gave it to my mother, who paid bills.
All the screen
Yet
with
despite
herself.
fans' demands for proof, Amy never provided any receipts. Now,
too
while they
close.
made it to mainstream fame on TLC's 1,000-Pound Sisters, the Slayton
And yeah, the TLC made the show about them, of course.
sisters couldn't fully escape their controversial past. Neither could former Olympian snowboarder Trevor Jacob, who pulled a dangerous stunt for views only to end up
That is the really popular thing. Yeah, I know this story.
in serious trouble.
I jumped, and I'm like, you just made the biggest mistake of your life.
This mistake would unfold in November 2021 when Trevor set out to fly a plane over the Sierra Nevada mountains to
really
spread his late best
crazy
friend's
stuff.
ashes. At first, his
craziest
trip was
stuff he'd
smooth
done.
until something went wrong with the engine. Luckily, Trevor managed to think fast and save himself before the worst happened.
At least he didn't fly to the New York, you know. I know he will. What he will do? Yeah, he abandoned the vehicle, and the vehicle could damage anybody who is on the way. So that's really the careless behavior and the societal and the damaging to society, of course.
Would then post this documented near-death experience titled I Crashed My Plane on YouTube in December 2021, where it earned almost
Crashed
2
my
million
plane.
views. But many,
Congrats,
mainly aviation
congrats.
enthusiasts, were immediately suspicious. Worse, some pointed out what the red flags were, like Trevor flying the plane towards the crash site
It was staged.
rather than his original destination, and the door being unlatched the moment the engine stalled. And these suspicions would make
Yeah. Okay, he made. He told that he had the emergency exit and the engine has been stopped, but supposedly it was not, and he just jumped out.
sense 4 months later when the FAA concluded that Trevor did stage the crash. In December 2023, the YouTuber would plead guilty and was sentenced to 6 months in federal prison, aside from having his license revoked. But before starting his prison sentence, Trevor would also reveal the truth to the public.
I did pretend
of
that,
course,
the engine died and kind of made the saga of the video.
You were acting a bit?
Yeah.
A
When I
bit?
jumped out of that plane, I had no idea I committed any type of crime whatsoever. It turned out that I actually committed 5.
Most importantly, he had a warning for anyone willing to go too far for views.
Let's learn from this mistake. Let's not get in this disgusting feat.
Yeah. If the just the random person would be on the way of the plane, yeah, of course. He didn't do any crimes here, of course.
Back loop of dopamine and adrenaline and
Dopamine
views
and
clicks
adrenaline.
and likes, and I'm happy to be looked at as the idiot, you know, to show kids like, hey, don't do this type of stuff.
Making Trevor's staged plane crash a cautionary tale of what happens when you sell your soul for clout.
Yeah. So right now I'm stopping watching the drama and switching on to the gaming segment and segment. And before that, I will do the 10 minutes break. So stay tuned. Yeah, I was muted. Starting the game in segment with a showcase of the Romeo and Juliet. At least I think I will play the one character today. I will play for about half an hour, I think, and then we'll go to sleep because it's quite late here. So yeah, we'll try one of these new characters. So what are they about? What is Romeo doing? He's the bride. Quest. And Rose. Okay. Passive if Juliet definitely dies. Romeo dies too. Ah, I get it. It's most likely for co-op. For 2 people. Passive active, consume health equivalent to 50%. Or they're shifting each other like the lycanthrope. Like the Red Riding Hood here. In this game. Chain together a series attacks. The Reaper and the attack deals 200 plus damage. Use dash. Okay, he's the melee and Julie probably the, yeah, she's the shooter. Trait. Consume health. Should be still dealing 24 damage. Power shot. Okay, well. Let's go. Let's go with Romeo. Play together. Oh, of course it's recommended because of the passive.
I heed the call for reverie.
So I'm streaming now for 1 hour and a half almost. Yeah. I think tomorrow I will do not the drama but something educational. We'll see. I'll figure some stuff out, but maybe drama. I don't want to stuck on the drama too much. I don't want to be stuck in the one topic exactly, but I want to
This place
do
is
multiple
worthy of the
things.
mind, but not the eyes.
Okay. Dash. I still can do it. Yeah, I still can do it. I didn't. That's a combo. Hold and release to throw a rose that deals damage along paths. That's projectile. Use power to shoot the rose and make it explode. Okay. Yeah. Oh gosh, that's of course that's recommended for people to play together because of the many abilities are actually synergizing with each other, with two characters. Of course, that's Romeo and Juliet. How does it work with one character, though? I'm interested. Yeah, that's a dash. Sort of the avoiding ability and this one. Oh yeah, that's deflecting ability. Intangible series. Enemy attack. Right after the defense, trigger intangible riposte. Okay, that's a parry. Okay, I got it.
Ah, Juliet!
Uh-huh, okay. What? For +6 region for what? Is it even worth it? Okay. Quest hitting at least one enemy with special crit chance.
Juliet!
One more time. So it's about the dash. I don't really like the characters because they require the friend to play, so I don't have any friends who are playing such game in Steam, and also I don't play with friends in Steam. Yeah. Dream shards? Yeah, he's weak without the Julian. They should be working together actually. Okay, I'm too much time inactive, I think. Have to do something. Okay, where I will go? I think I will go here.
Juliet!
It sucks that I have to wait these throws to explode.
Chance to dream. I ask thee, dream of what? Oh, Juliet!
Yeah, without the explosion, it's not as good.
A valiant fight, forsooth.
Wait. Ah, at least one. I thought that was like...
Juliet! Oh, Juliet!
like this projectile. It's really strong. Even without the actual Juliet.
I hear the music, Juliet. Oh, Juliet!
That's strong. I would not say he's broken or anything, but he's pretty strong and he heals well.
Juliet! Oh, Juliet!
They're using trade. I think trade are not working here because I'm not have the Juliet with me actually.
Bring on the fight. I'm ready now.
Yeah, I think attack after the riposte
Juliet!
is quite strong. Wait.
Juliet! Juliet! I'll need to clean
Yeah,
my
that's
sword.
powerful. That's really powerful, I think.
Oh, Juliet! Ah, Juliet!
Does this actually work?
Be brave,
I think it
bright
works.
sun. We welcome thee to life anew.
Remore.
Juliet!
Okay.
Juliet! Oh, Juliet!
So easy. Of course, attack. Attack is strong on this character.
Come, villains, one and all.
Oh. Am I playing on easy mode? I don't think this game has any
10 toads I've seen with greater courage.
any modes, but still.
I hear the music, Juliet.
Really nice. Plus 20% is actually crucial.
Alert my Juliet. The book is open. Oh, Juliet.
Ah! Ah, don't.
Juliet. Once, twice, thrice, and more. Oh.
He is really strong.
Juliet. Some ghost
Holy
thy
shit.
rest is fair deserved.
Crit chance? I'll take it. I'll take the crit chance. 11 minutes.
Juliet.
Ah, so he's doing that kind of attack after the rose is damaging. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, I understood. That's really good. Trey, LB. Oh.
My love, I've grown in skill. Ah, Juliet.
That's good.
Where hide ye ragged warts?
So it's basically a heal. That's fine.
It seems our fight is not yet done. Oh, Juliet!
Whoa.
This skirmish lasted long. Juliet!
I'm just spamming right now. I don't know what am I even doing. I mean, I know, of course, at some point. But he's just too strong to think too much. It's at this point. He's not even with the Juliet and I'm full health. What is
Methinks
going
these
on?
monsters hide in fear.
Side quest. Yeah, I think I can accomplish this side quest here. He's just too strong. At this point, at least. can parry! I'm really bad at parrying. Ah.
I hear the music, Juliet.
But he is really strong. His projectiles are really wild. What is this?
The scent of blood still clings within this air.
XP. Blood ritual. Chest. Idol. Yeah, I like idol.
Oh! How quickly now, Juliet!
Should I press it twice? Answering the call. So I think I should press it twice.
Come out! Come out and meet your match!
So yes, I'm regenerated on some point.
Juliet!
It starts?
I am a new and
Woo! New talent. And full heal. Special area of effect gains plus 25 range. Special. 2 specials. Ignite. Specialties, let's see. Actually, I prefer the attack because my attack already boosted.
Hast ye come avenging your foul friends? Oh!
Oh. I didn't charge it.
Juliet!
Yeah, range, I see. Okay.
Oh, Juliet!
That's really easy
A
character.
tragic tale of disillusion dies.
At least.
Go out and get me that straw. I'll be
At least
I'll be
for
waiting
now.
here to supervise
This is
the
the
work.
first. Yeah, I know. Straw. You want straws?
Oh, Juliet!
Ah! No!
Oh!
Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad. Ah, it was under the bath as well. I didn't notice it. Yeah, I'm fighting.
Some foes are worth their salt.
3 minutes. Do you have enough time for the second pack? I have 2 minutes. Is it all? I think I am down for it.
Enemies are found.
No. Okay. Yeah, fine. 10 is alright.
Hey, things are starting to take shape. Keep at it. The monsters will be here.
Because the time is running right now. Oh, okay. Can I actually accomplish this quest earlier? Or I cannot? Dang. Are there any more of these things?
I hear the music, Juliet. Thou choseth evil, and evil's price.
Nice, nice, nice. I think I'm owning it. But in here there are no more.
Juliet!
Oh! That was really nice. Holy shit! The projectile.
Oh, Juliet!
Did I accomplish it already? 2020? Dream shards. What are the dream shards? Ah. Oh, okay.
Fight is won.
Yeah. He earns some money. So I have to hurry up right now. I really have to hurry up. Okay, let's go. Let's go already. Let's go.
More monsters come to play.
Oh no! Wiggle, run, hide, every bit for himself.
I'm forgetting about this thing. I'm really forgetting about this ability.
Oh, Juliet! Bring me more! I sure! Ah, Juliet!
Oh no.
Juliet! Juliet!
I don't think I will. It was nice. No. I didn't make it in time. Okay, I'll face the buzzer now.
To be or not to be is question answered.
how deflect is working.
I hear the music, Juliet.
Yeah, I'm not watching.
Juliet!
Oh no! Oh yes.
Juliet!
That was pretty nice.
This pain impedes me. Oh, Juliet!
I'm losing here. My dash didn't regenerate on time. I used it not as well. Dang.
Oh, Juliet! Ah, Juliet! Oh, my Juliet! I falter!
Yeah, it wasn't as easy. And of course I'm forgetting this ability, which is really strong. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll here. So thank you everyone for watching, and stay tuned. Tomorrow I will stream as well. Good night for me, and good day for you, I guess.